Starry night, paint your bollocks blue and grey. That's the opening lines to a song by a guy called Don McLean about an artist. The song's called Vincent. And this is a third part of a series I've done on Peter Vincent. And the reason I'm doing this one is because it dawned on me that I've got the only officially authenticated piece of work by Vincent that's known to be in existence. And it's the reason I know it's real because I was there to bear witness to the I was there when Peter Vincent entered a transcendent state, and I did go. I confess I went to bed and I missed the actual what actually took place. But he produced a good 2 dozen perhaps pieces of work during the mystical transcendent state he was in, and the most remarkable being was a performance piece which is called Pete Bog Man, and for this piece it was only actually witnessed by 4 people, and 2 of them were policemen who I was woken by in the morning when he was found in the neighbour's garden, covered in mud. And what the performance piece entailed him in entering the river and completely covering himself in mud and emerging from the river into someone's garden and knocking on their door. And it clearly referred to like Pete Bog Man, and we're all familiar with what they are. It was a kind of a self-anointment, a baptism of kind. And if I'm thinking about the artists, if you think about artists as snooker players, you have players like Cliff Thorburn who wait for complete silence and they line up the shot, concentrate, and it takes all their concentration to produce that work. And then you get a snooker player like Ronnie O'Sullivan who just walks around the table and just bangs them in, bang, bang, bang. And artists can be seen in that same way. And Peter Vincent will be very much in the mould of Ronnie O'Sullivan, because during his transcendent state, he was almost like had artistic diarrhea. So such was the abundance of the pieces that he made. I won't list them, but I'll show you the piece here if I can get the camera onto the piece. And it was made by branding a piece of fruit wood of unknown origin. I was told it was cherry when I was given it when I was 21 years old by somebody, but I've got a feeling it might be plum. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's a spiral, which clearly, if anyone who knows anything about cave paintings will know that a common cave painting is of a silhouette of a man's head with a spiral drawn inside, which some historians, some archaeologists would suggest it might be when human consciousness, self-consciousness evolved beyond that of to separate us from animals. Anyway, it's an ancient symbol, is a spiral, and it's a sacred symbol. The other works there was, I found this piece next to the cheese in the toaster, where a block of cheese was put in an electric toaster and melted all over it. And this piece can be recreated in the same way that 2 Fried Eggs and a Kebab by Sarah Lucas can be, or Tracy Emin's Bed or something, so long as the pieces are put back in place exactly the same. The cheese is melted in the correct way over the correct kind of toaster element. There was also the duvet burner piece where he melted the duvet down the side of the wood burner. Another one where he glued the pieces of board games like Monopoly and others, so it was a fixed position, like a fixed moment in time. It's frozen time in essence. Great works. And the parallel with, like I sang a few lines from that song about Vincent van Gogh by the artist Don McLean, who was a crackerjack presenter who superseded Michael Aspel. And he sang a famous song about missing his American Bye Bye American Pie, and also Vincent, the other one about painting, the artist who paints his bollocks blue and grey. Both were considered by the time to be mad by the contemporaries, or to have suffer from some sort of madness. But that would be to misunderstand, particularly when you see this work, which clearly refers to the super consciousness, the spiral within the brain of Peter Vincent. The like I said, it refers to the cave paintings and everything, and it's just, to me, it represents the super consciousness of Vincent, the hyper consciousness of Vincent, that he suffered as well as enjoyed. You know, I mean, it's not an easy thing to bear. It's a difficult thing to live with. It's like I say, when I saw him entering the transcendent state, it was like imagine him like his life much like crossing a hazardous river on a series of stepping stones, with a very, very vicious river floating by underneath. I don't think life was ever easy for either of the two Vincents. The 20th century, one or the other one. Always interested from disaster. Yeah. So another of the pieces was I was a lecturer at the time, and he withdrew this. Such was his dismissal of the futility of the students' work, was that he took all their essay work out of my bag and cast it across the room, and a lot of it went into the wood burner and burn. And the Glue Dames performance piece, the Pete Bog Man, witnessed by no one. Yeah, part of the neighbours and the police, who may not even have been aware that they were witnessing that great art at that time. And I think they may not have even known that it was art that Peter was performing. And in a way, I think it's fair to say that he blurred the line between art and reality in a way that perhaps no other artist ever has. I mean, it's always been a question mark there as to whether the jelly work, the famous tomato piece, the Mudman piece, whether these pieces were created intentionally, whether they were reality or whether they were art. And I think that question will always be there in history books. Critics will debate it for decades to come, I'm sure. And anyway, so I just wanted to show you the sole certified, authenticated piece of work by the artist Peter Vincent. Okay, good night.